It's good to see you guys. Team meeting was energetic. Everyone's looking forward to this week. We have a really strong opponent. A lot of respect for just the program and for Coach Gundy and just everything he's accomplished. And you can see the improvement in this particular team. It's a dangerous team. Everyone sees that. And so had a spirited practice this morning, and we're ready to attack this week. Take any questions you guys got.
Dave, y'all haven't given up a sack the last two games. Running game got back to, performing well this past game. Do you like the growth you're seeing in the offensive line?
Since the beginning of the season, really first game in on to the second, there's been improvement. It's been the consistency part that's been what's been lacking. And I think, the Iowa State game, there's some to be desired. I think one of the things that was happenstance of just the structures of their defense and our offense was them rushing three gave our O-line confidence that they can block, And so I think the confidence has so much to do with it. When the confidence is just coming from your best friend or your mom or your coach, and everywhere else it's negative or bad or not good or any of that. It's hard to have confidence in the moment. And so to go out and do it is a big step, because then you can really finally start to believe it. And I think that happened with the Iowa State game, and I thought that continued with this one. We'll continue to see effective four-man rush teams and teams that will blitz and bring pressure, and so we'll be tested further. But I feel that we're probably more ready for that test than we've been.
Is Sidney Fugar kind of a long-term player at left tackle, and how has he taken steps at that position?
Yeah, he's got great size, and he can bend for as big as he is, and he gets hands on you. There's a good chance that you're stopping, and so those are the strengths. The weaknesses is just kind of he's been here, he's been there, he's been all around, and so to kind of get him settled down in terms of the looks and the alignments that he needs to kind of master, I think that really happened this past week, and it's probably the most comfortable that he's been. And, he's very willing and, wants to do well and very humble. And so I think he's been a great addition. I think the best for him is yet to come.
You mentioned Ryan Langell a lot in the preseason, and he's been out there every week. What have you seen from him and just seeing these walk-ons consistently play well?
He's a fighter, so he scraps, he fights. I think some of the things that he does, they're not necessarily graceful. And probably not the way you draw it up, but he fights guys down. He gets hands on people, and he finds a way to get them onto the ground, finish them. And that's been a consistent, and I think one of the things that is most appreciative about with him is that he'll do that after he was the guy, just the play before getting taken to the ground. It doesn't faze him. All that stuff would faze me, but it doesn't faze him. He gets right back up, and then very next play is putting somebody else into the dirt. And so I think there's a contagious thing that goes with that, and he's right in the center of it. And so I'm really proud of him.
Coach, with the win on Saturday, and then you talked about team meetings today, do you feel the team is re-energized and it's kind of new fire in this team?
Yeah, I guess that would be one way to say it. I think, I just go back to the belief and confidence that's contagious. And I think when you're making an argument and you've got a cut up here, or you've got some stats to show here, or you've got video evidence of something, and it's kind of particular and specific, that really doesn't do it. That doesn't do it. I think it's very hard. I think there's individuals that are just born and kind of imbued with just a natural confidence. I think those guys are able to kind of get to the other side. The ones that aren't, like that, and we do have a few on our team that are not like that. I think that, the particular cut-up fails to meet the standard there. And so I think when they can go out and, wanting and hoping and trying and all this other thing and then accomplish something, the Iowa State O-line protection is one example of it, then I think there's a belief of, man, I'm that guy. I can do this. And so I think the team feels that. I think particularly offensively.
Defensively, obviously you spent the bye week in game planning for Taj Brooks and Texas Tech. Do you carry anything over, now that you've got Ollie Gordon coming in and Oklahoma State, and what challenges does Ollie Gordon present?
Yeah, big, fast, explosive, dangerous. Yeah, they are the fastest tempo team in our league. And so we've played some tempo teams to this point. They're the fastest of all of them in terms of seconds between plays, or seconds that are left, rather, when the ball snapped, And, I think they're trying to find their footing just in the throw game. I think that's affecting the running game a little bit. But, they started off really fast and strong this last week out, and it was a scary team. I think he has a lot to do with it. You can't, one-arm tackle the guy. It's got to be a gang tackle, and you really have to kind of tackle him low. And so we're going to have to be at our best or better than what we've been to defend him.
Last week when we were in here, you had talked about Sawyer's leadership and just about how he's a guy who's been patient and waiting to really prove what he's got. He really did that on Saturday. What is it from his leadership that you're looking to carry in from last week into this week?
He's one of those guys that has that confidence, and he's able to articulate it, and I think he doesn't hold anything back. I think we've got some guys that feel something and will kind of keep it behind closed doors, with Sawyer is just right out. And I think so much of it is good when that's the case, that guys can read him and follow him. And I think he puts himself out there, which takes a lot of confidence to do. And, I think that our guys look to him. I mean, the end of practice today, he broke it. Our aim is to start fast in this game, and we've had that for a couple games and have struggled to do that, and we're going to need to do it this particular week, just with the start time and with our opponent and everything else. And so we're going to have to play our best early on, and he was able to vocalize that. It's probably better him than me.
You mentioned earlier in the season that we have to show our fans that we're like cool enough to hang out with. I would think they would probably got excited by the performance y'all put together the other day. How much do you want to go out and just reward the homecoming crowd and get them excited on Saturday?
Yeah, you'd love for people to be excited about Baylor football, and we're really working hard for that to happen, and I think probably the last time we talked, it was kind of, where has this been? And it's like, we've been trying so hard to get it, and I go back to the end of the half, and we score, and we go into halftime. We're going to get the ball back. We have an opportunity to score again. We got an opportunity to go 3 and out, get the ball back, and extend the drive. And like the total complete opposite of that happened in every way, And so those have been the struggles right there. But I think what's good about our opportunity now is that happened and we battled through it, and then basically did that with the Caden pick and the touchdown that followed, and so I think, again, with the confidence piece, once you've done it, we can do it again. And so I'm hopeful that happens, and that happens fast, because I think our fans deserve it, our kids deserve it. We're going to have to go and earn it.
You mentioned starting fast, and really Saturday, kind of the most complete 60-minute game, at least the offense has played. What do you feel like is the key to carrying that from week to week to week?
I think now is the time to be really kind of particular and really focused on areas that we can get better. And it's not the time, if you have a chair that leans back, to not recline. I think it's time to maybe stand up and time to kind of get moving on things that you're not doing particularly well, things that we could have done better. And there's a bunch of those things, on both sides of the ball, special teams included, who had a hell of a day, but we have to, today is the day we're kind of losing all of our stuff on people to get stuff right. I think the team knows what we're capable of, and they can see it, and they want to achieve it too. They need a little extra push.
Dave, I'm guessing y'all record missed tackles. Was this the best tackling game maybe for y'all all year?
It was, yeah. I thought the effort and everything, I think it's been good throughout the season, but this was probably the best here too. I think a lot of it was in the bye week, we really tried to simplify things. I think so much of it, the issues on defense have been me. It's been so long since I've called it, and trying to get to know this team and what they can do. And we really simplified a lot of things. And I think we have a good idea of who we are and best way to play it and all that. And so I thought that we had cleats in the ground and we were ready to play and all this other thing. I think the Iowa State game was the exact opposite of that. And so we had to make that big correction. I feel like we did.
How good was it to get Caden Jenkins back? And do you think that interception and the way he played can kind of help him bounce back from some early season struggles?
I think so. I think that that was a down where we were showing quarters. We had been a really, really heavy quarters team, and safeties and Caden did a great job of really disguising it and showing kind of our base coverage, and then Caden sloughed off and the corners or the safeties kind of opened up and we played two, and by the time the QB saw it, it was kind of it was too late and the ball was out. And so, I think those are the things that we're going to need to do. I think we're going to have to be able to get them halfway there in situations, and I think we got the guys that can get us halfway back home, And so I feel like it's nice to be able to kind of put somebody to the field and show or in the boundary, show one thing, and get them on another thing and have them take advantage of it. And I think there's going to be more of that coming up.
Even after some of the losses, you said you were still, seeing the guys working hard in practice and playing well in practice. Just, do you feel like Saturday was a little more indicative of what you had been seeing in practices weeks before?
Yeah, I think it's always difficult. I've been, I recognize I've probably talked about practice too much, here. And so, but there's, you see guys make incredible plays. You see guys rise to the occasion. I just think with all of it, they're showing up for a meeting, and having the right mindset and attacking it is one thing. Showing up for a walkthrough, having the right mindset and, being intentional about it's another thing. And then you just go down the line of whether it's a practice or it's a scrimmage or it's a opening game or it's an away game or it's any of these things. All of it is another level of competition. All of it is different, and all of it brings you to a higher level of kind of do or die. And I think you don't know until you know, and then you got to face yourself, and then you got to get better. And so I think that whole thing's the thing. I think our guys have gone through that. Probably not like this, like you'd like. Probably a little bit like this, but this next one's a critical one in just that journey, let's say. And so I'm excited to walk with them through it.
Dave, he's still young, but is Caden one that could play the NFL someday?
We've got some players, I think, that can do that. And, you look at, what Caden did, what Steve Linton did. Steve had incredible game, and versus the team that he was just with, and he had incredible week of practice. Josh Cameron was our player of the game, and Josh had an unbelievable week of practice. And I just think we were talking before, to have someone that does everything right and does everything right when no one's watching, so you don't have to kind of be there, kind of take and roll or checking boxes. Josh is going to do it right. And I think for some of our guys that, that's like not a thing, That's only a thing when I'm getting watched or I'm getting looked at. And for Josh to be that way all the time, and then to be the playmaker that he is, gives hope that we can create more people like Josh. And so, such a positive thing. But I think Josh is one. You know, I think we've got a lot of our receiving core. If they continue to play like they're playing, they're going to have opportunities. And so I'm excited about the talent and the development of guys that have been here for a little bit and how they're playing now.
Dave, relative to Josh Cameron,
Yeah.
what have you seen in his journey, his total journey in his time here?
Mm-hmm. There was a point in practice on Tuesday this last week, and it was right at the end of practice, and we have scout team periods. This is the first year that we've had scout teams or look teams. We haven't really had those before. We would go ones versus twos and that, and I think the offense at that time was maybe not having their best day, was maybe slacking on details with versus the scout team. And Josh is a really good-natured, great heart, all of it. He threw his helmet down and he just said all of the S and F words you can imagine, and just said them in like such a real like violent and frustrated, like we all were, and all of it. And he got everybody's attention, and they all kind of stood up. And he flipped that practice around for the offense, and so that's great growth right there with Josh. I imagine, if we're making a Disney movie about it, you'd probably choose different words, but I think he got their attention, and for him to be able to stand up in that moment and take charge like that, that's the growth in him.
Ketron Jackson, Dom Richardson, Kendrick Simpkins all missed that last game. Are they practicing? Do you expect them to be back Saturday or close?
Tron is back. Tevin Williams is back. Who else did you mention?
Dom Richardson and Simpkins.
Don't know about them. Yeah, we're still going to have to see. We're hopeful. I think hopeful for Simp. I think Dom may still be a minute.
And then what is DJ Coleman's status?
He's back.
Back.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank
Dave.
you, guys.